enjoy horror movies with subtlety and psychological depth, you can go ahead and skip this one. Now, if you enjoy a monster that is basically a humanoid meat grinder with the rage of 1,000 hornets, then meet Victor Crowley, born with a terrible deformity and accidentally killed by his own father. His vengeful ghost haunts the Louisiana swamp. He is not an elegant hunter. He is the personification of brute force and unrestrained fury. The list of Victor Crowley's weaknesses is comically short. In fact, it doesn't exist. He's a ghost, so he can't be killed. Shoot him, and he'll keep coming. Blow him up, and he'll just regenerate the next night, probably even angrier. The only rule is that he's confined to his swamp. But once you step onto his turf, you're playing his game, and the rules are simple. He tears you to pieces. There is no strategy, only raw survival. Crowley's MO is pure brutality. He doesn't use knives. He uses belt sanders, hatchets, or, lacking any tools, his bare hands to rip off jaws and tear out spines. He is incredibly creative in his methods of dismemberment. He doesn't just want to kill you. He wants to erase you from existence in the most violent and noisy way possible. He's less of a ghost and more of a natural disaster with an axe. What makes him so relentless is his tragic origin. He is the pain and rage of a wronged child, amplified to a supernatural level. He isn't killing for sport. He's trapped in an endless cycle of fury, lashing out at anyone who invades his home. You can't reason with him. You can't appease him. He is a hurricane of violence, and you are just a paper boat in its path. So, how do you survive Victor Crowley? The answer is as subtle as he is. You don't. Your best bet is to never, ever, under any circumstances, take a haunted swamp tour. If you make that mistake, it doesn't matter how fast you run or how well you hide. He knows that swamp like the back of his deformed hand. You just end up as another red stain in the mud, a cautionary tale for the next group of idiot tourists.
Introducing Metagenics Ultraflora Probiotics. Unlike other probiotics, Ultraflora delivers multiple benefits, providing long-lasting 24-hour gut support the whole body over. Because when your gut is in balance, everything else follows. We have a gut feeling you'll feel the difference. Metagenics, the science that creates balance.
Digital detox cams. The idea of forcing tech-addicted teenagers to interact with nature. What a wholesome and completely doomed concept. In Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight, a group of kids is sent to the middle of nowhere to reconnect with the real world. Unfortunately for them, the only locals they'll be connecting with are a pair of giant, deformed twin brothers who were raised on a diet of meteorites and apparently anyone who wanders by. The strength of these villains lies in their brutal simplicity and their environment. They aren't strategists. They are pure predators. Imagine two walking meat tanks with the intelligence of a hammer and an insatiable hunger. They live in a filthy basement decorated with the remains of their victims, and they know that forest like the back of their giant hand. They are the reason your parents told you not to go into strange cabins in the woods. They are the personification of "I told you so." Their weakness? Oh, they're the product of a delightfully absurd backstory. Apparently, a meteorite crashed in their yard when they were kids, and their mother, in a moment of parenting brilliance, locked them in the basement and fed them the space goo. This turned them into mutant monsters. So their weakness is maybe bad parenting. Other than that, they are extremely hard to kill. They can take an absurd amount of damage and just keep coming, grunting and ready to turn you into stew. What makes them so lethal is their complete lack of subtlety. They don't hide in the shadows or play mind games. They see you, they want you, and they come get you. They are brute force in its purest form. One of them will chase you with the determination of a depth hunter, while the other, well, let's just say he has a very special way of playing with his victims before devouring them. It's direct, visceral horror that gives you no time to think of a plan. You wouldn't survive because your reliance on technology has left you completely unprepared for the real world, especially one containing cannibalistic mutants. You'd try to find a cell signal to call for help. You'd get lost. You'd scream, attracting them right to you. Your only hope would be to find their cabin and pray they aren't hungry. But let's be honest, they're always hungry. You'd end up as the main ingredient in their dinner, proving once and for all that maybe a little screen time isn't so bad after all. This one is a nightmare in layers. You rent an Airbnb and find out it's double-booked awkward, but manageable, right? Wrong. The real problem isn't your unexpected roommate. It's in the basement, and in the secret tunnel behind the basement, and in the subterranean chamber below the tunnel. Meet the mother, grotesque creature, the product of decades of abuse and inbreeding, who lives in the bowels of that house. The mother's strength is her inhuman physical power and her environment. She is incredibly strong, capable of ripping people in half with her bare hands, and that underground labyrinth is her domain. It's dark, claustrophobic, and she knows it perfectly. Once she drags you down there, you're in her world, and her rules are simple. You're her baby now, and she's going to take care of you to death. Her weakness is almost tragic. Despite her monstrous appearance, she operates with a twisted, childlike mentality. She isn't purely evil. She's a product of unimaginable trauma. She kidnaps people, not to kill them, but to force them to be her babies, trying to recreate a sick form of family. She might even show moments of strange tenderness, like trying to feed her victims with a baby bottle. This complexity makes her unpredictable, and in a way, even scarier. What makes the situation impossible is that the mother isn't the only villain. The house itself is a monument to human evil, built by a serial killer who was the mother's father and creator. You're not just fighting a creature, you're fighting the legacy of decades of depravity. Every dark hallway, every locked door is part of a horrifying story that is still very much alive and very hungry. You wouldn't survive because your surface world logic doesn't apply here. You do what any sane person would do, try to leave the house. But curiosity or circumstance would lead you to the basement, and once that door closes, it's game over. You'd be dragged into the darkness to become the new plaything for a creature born from pain in a house built by evil. Good night, and good luck.
Scaries to be like this.
Find exactly what you're looking for. Booking.com? Booking.com?
Yeah. Great news.
I really hope this one works. We've been using AI for ages. Yeah.
Well,
Get ready for one of the most absurd and brilliant villains in modern horror. The monster in *Malignant* is Gabriel. Who's Gabriel? He's a teratoma, a parasitic twin who was partially removed from the protagonist, Madison, as a child, but a piece of his brain remained dormant. Now he's awake, and he's using Madison's body in a peculiar way. Gabriel's strength is simply unbelievable. He can take control of Madison's body, but he moves backward. He contorts her limbs in inhuman ways, resulting in a fight fighting style that is impossible to predict. He has superhuman strength, a contortionist's agility, and the ability to manipulate electricity. He is a walking nightmare that moves like a horror movie in reverse. His weakness? He is physically attached to Madison. He is, quite literally, the back of her head. He can only come out when he takes control. But this is also his strength. How do you fight a villain who shares the same body as the hero? Any damage you inflict on him, you also inflict on her. It's the ultimate hostage dilemma, where the terrorist and the hostage are the same person. What makes him so impossible to defeat is his intelligence and his cruelty. Gabriel is not a mindless beast. He is sadistic, calculating, and has a plan. He's getting revenge on the Nazis who try to remove him, and anyone who gets in his way. He communicates through radios and phones, taunting his victims before he shows up to slaughter them in a spectacularly gory fashion. The police station scene is a ballet of carnage that proves he's on a whole other level. You wouldn't stand a chance. You'd see him coming, walking backward with his face on the back of his head, and your brain would suddenly short circuit. You wouldn't know how to react. You'd try to shoot, but he'd move like a glitch in reality, dodging bullets and breaking your bones before you could blink. Gabriel isn't just a monster. He's a break in the rules of biology and physics, and he's here to show you just how fragile those rules really are. Finally, we arrive at a horror icon that turned the humble VHS tape into a harbinger of death. Meet Samara Morgan. She's not a monster that physically hunts you. She is a curse, a supernatural virus that spreads through a haunted videotape. The rules are terrifyingly simple. You watch the tape, the phone rings, and a childish voice whispers, 7 days. And that's it. You have 1 week to live. Samara's strength is her relentless, inescapable nature. Once you watch the tape, you are marked. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what you do. The countdown has begun. She haunts you psychologically during that week with disturbing visions and a growing sense of dread. She doesn't need to chase you. Your own fear does the heavy lifting for her. Death isn't the attack, it's the destination. Her weakness is also her method of propagation. The only way to break your own curse is the most selfish one possible. You have to make a copy of the tape and show it to someone else. You don't defeat the evil, you pass it on. You survive by condemning another person to die in your place. It's a terrible moral choice. Die in 7 days or live with the guilt of having sentenced another soul. What makes Samara so iconic is her final method of attack. On the 7th day, she emerges. She crawls out of your television set, soaking wet and contorted, a specter of vengeance coming straight from the static hell of your screen. You can't fight her. She is the manifestation of your impending death. The mere sight of her face is enough to stop your heart, leaving your body a grotesque, terror-disfigured husk. You survive? Let's be honest. In the age of streaming, you probably find the video online, watch it out of curiosity, and dismiss the warning as a prank. You wouldn't make a copy. You wouldn't believe it. And then, 7 days later, while you're watching a cat video on your phone, your screen would flicker, and a little girl with long black hair would start crawling out of it. Game over. And there you have it. From demons with busy schedules to viral curses and family experiments gone very, very wrong. These monsters aren't here to give you a fighting chance. They're here to remind you that in the grand scheme of horror, you are at best an inconvenience and at worst the main course. Your intelligence, your strength, your will to live, they're just seasonings for their meal. So the next time you turn out the lights, maybe think twice about what might be waiting in the dark. If you enjoyed having your sleep ruined, show some love and hit that like button. And subscribe for more content that will make you question every noise in your house. Until next time, and try not to watch any weird videotapes. You know that feeling of smug confidence you get while watching a horror movie? Thinking, oh, I'd do it differently. I would totally survive. That's cute, but But today, we're going to put that couch potato bravery to the test. Forget the slow zombies and the killers who trip over their own feet. Today, we're diving into a pantheon of creatures and entities that don't play by the rules, have zero mercy, and honestly, would find your attempt at survival absolutely hilarious. So, if you're ready to have your confidence shattered, and maybe never look at a deserted basement the same way again, you've come to the right place. Before we begin this journey towards certain doom, do yourself a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Think of it as a small protection ritual. It might not work against these monsters, but hey, it's worth a shot, right? Now, let's meet the reasons why you'd be completely, utterly screwed. Let's kick things off with a monster that turns a simple road trip into a highway to hell. Meet the Creeper. He's not just a monster. He's a force of nature with a very specific calendar. Every 23rd spring for 23 days, he wakes up with an appetite that would make a great white shark.
That is super predictable. I have a literal dream job.
Getting a degree backed by the power of
Ed and Lorraine Warren didn't hunt evil for the thrill. They held the line so other families could sleep peacefully. They battled a deadly doll, a cursed wedding dress, a courtroom that heard the devil made me do it. Even a marquis of hell wasn't able to destroy their bond. So with the final Conjuring movie, Last Rites, bringing its story to conclusion, I will take you on a journey which forms the spine of the Conjuring universe, including this new movie, exploring every single story and case in one of my favorite horror movie franchises. However, even before we get to Ed and Lorraine's story, evil has haunted the world since the beginning of time, as it all started when an angel named Lucifer rebelled against his father God, gathering all angels to become his follower in this rebellion, which resulted in him being cast down to hell alongside his brothers. Lucifer is now known as Satan, while the other fallen angels become demons. One of these demons would be named Tyrant, the Marquis of Snakes. He is one of the main villains for the Warrens and humanity as a whole, because he was summoned back to Earth nearly 1,000 years ago in the Dark Ages. The Duke of St. Carta summoned back sometime in the 1100s. The Duke was a powerful and wealthy aristocrat living in Transylvania, now Romania. He was obsessed with the occult. He wanted even more power, so he started demonic worship in his castle, leading to him performing a dark, satanic ritual which
Holy
involved
shit.
kidnapping and ritualistically
Don't get sick, guy.
people,
Make things a
only
lot harder.
in the castle's catacombs that the demon emerged from. However, his plans were discovered by a group of Christian crusaders who burst in and interrupted the worship. They grabbed the Duke and arrested him, then used a relic containing the physical blood of Jesus to seal the rift before Valak took place. This just goes to show how powerful Valak really is, as the blood of Christ is one of the holiest of artifacts in all of Christianity. While the Duke was taken away, imprisoned, and died incarcerated, the rift wouldn't stay sealed forever. Then, a few hundred years later, in 1673 Mexico, a boy gifts his mother a necklace while playing in a field with his brother. Later that day, he finds his mother is drowning his brother in a nearby stream. The boy runs in terror, but she chases after him and soon kills him too. This becomes the origin of the legend of La Llorona, the weeping woman, a cursed spirit doomed to wander the earth in mourning, seeking to replace the children she lost. Similarly, in the 1800s lived a woman in Rhode Island, Bathsheba Sherman. In 1863, she was obsessed with occult practices and gave birth to a baby. When the baby was a week old, her husband taught her Madison hung in front of a fireplace. Being exposed, she climbed onto the top of a tree and proclaimed her love for Satan. She cursed anyone who would take her land. Bathsheba then hated herself on that very tree at 3:07 a.m. Bathsheba's evil spirit continued to reside in the land, staying true to her curse. Any family that dared live in her house would be haunted. She tormented them until she could possess the family's mother, kill the children before forcing them to gain it themselves, repeating the pattern in her own tiny moments. These spirits of the victims continued to also linger in Bathsheba's house, living in constant fear of her. Evil emerged